Today we want to focus on the purpose of the church. Why does the church exist? What did God have in mind when he created the church? I believe all of us have a need to belong. Why would we want to belong to a church? We want to seek to answer those questions today. A church that is clear about its purpose has a sense of unity, has a sense of cooperation, has a sense of energy. And we're seeing that here in a church called The Gathering. And we'd like to have you see what's happening here on Wednesday mornings. Mallory, I've seen you whizzing around here helping these children and their parents. Why do you do this? I mean, it's 7:30 in the morning. What brings you here on Wednesday mornings at 7:30?
Yeah, well, I really love it. I love the community, I love the kids, and I often say that I'm not a morning person, but on Wednesday mornings, I look forward to it. It's energizing. I've learned so much and built so many relationships out of it that I wouldn't want to not wake up and be.
You're part of the church here, right?
Yes.
The Gathering?
Yes.
Why does the church do this?
I think initially when the church was formed, we really wanted to be the hands and feet of Jesus in the community, and that was a priority for us. And I think this seems to be the right place for us, and there's a huge need, and we just feel called to be doing this, and we love it. And the relationships that we built initially from the need have led us to want to do even more in the community. So it's just something that we love.
Why do your children like to come here on Wednesdays?
They love coming on Wednesdays. It's their favorite morning of the week. It's my favorite morning of the week. They're up out of bed, they get dressed, they make their bed, and they're out of the house as soon as I will let them. And what I mean by let them is they're asking, can we go now? They'll let us help set up. And then they get here, they have a great morning with their friends. They get to make their lunch. I don't have to make lunches. And yeah, they get to play Uno. It just works. It's great.
Bruce, I understand you're from this community.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But you aren't part of this church that is sponsoring this breakfast thing.
Yeah, I'm not a part of this church, but although I am part of this community, and what I really seek is to be involved with the people around me, because when the people around me are happy, that's when I really am happy. No matter who you are or where you come from, like, even though I'm not a part of the same church as these people, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're different. And that when I'm able to envelop myself around people that make me a greater person, that's, you know.
So you see something good happening here, and you want to be part of that. So
Yes.
you come to join it. Do you come every Wednesday?
I try to come every Wednesday as much as I can. Like, at first, I did this for a school project, because at a Catholic school, you have to complete 15 hours of volunteer work. But as we've progressively gone on, I love coming here just out of my own will.
Which one do you want? Do you want to pick which one you want?
We just started to work with the City of Kitchener and the House of Friendship, and talked about how we might be a regular presence of building relationships with children and their families and providing the resource of food. And so we started with fresh produce food drive on a Sunday morning, and then a canned goods food drive, and then we realized, well, let's be present. And so the Breakfast Club was formed out of that need, and it started just quickly.
Okay.
So we've always had kids, we've always had smiles. We didn't anticipate maybe that it would be as vibrant as it is, and the highlight would be the building of relationships, that it's a happy place.
There were 50 or 60 people here
Absolutely,
today. Is that usual?
Yeah, we would typically give out 90 sandwiches, so probably 50 or 60 children stay in a morning and come and visit, and there would be about 30 lunches that people come in, pick up a lunch, and then head off to their workday.
Catherine, can you tell me a story? Is there a child that comes to mind that's been helped in a particular way here?
I think of a young boy in grade 5 who started at the very first breakfast, and he would be coming from a home where there was a lot of neglect. He thought he only could eat white bread and bologna. He just didn't know how to sit still. At school, he was just experiencing lots of troubles, and he has come every week. And it is someone, if you remember the old movie Cheers, where when Norm walked in, they said, "Norm!" And this young boy, when he walks in, there's like 30 voices yelling his name and welcoming him, and he comes and he sits and he talks and he shares life. His mom has started joining and comes for a cup of coffee on a Wednesday morning. So yeah, I think it's been a place for him where he knows he matters and he's really seen. And so that's a really important one.
He has a sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
He belongs here.
And he really, he does.
Feels accepted.
Yeah.
I think acceptance is another word for the grace of God.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And at Christmas time, we just heard from Mom that Christmas would be really small, and so we were able to then, as a church, to do a blessing on that. But it's a rich blessing because it's not anonymous. I mean, in the sense that we don't know. This is a young boy that we can say, we love and support you. We know you like Minecraft, so let's get a Minecraft sweatshirt. So it extends itself. So yeah, that's a beautiful story.
Relationships give meaning to life, and the relationships have really made a difference in this young boy's
Absolutely.
life.
Yeah. And I think too, I mean, I'm a person of hug and touch, so appropriate touch, but this is a morning of hugs. And so a lot of our kids would be coming from homes where mom or dad, because of circumstances, are not at home when these kids wake up. And so we're the first people to greet them and to welcome them into their day. And so I think you've seen there's lots of hugs, there's lots of greeting, there's lots of sending them off to school. And I think, again, that's a privilege for most of us, that we greet our kids or we send them off to school. And so this is a place where we can do that. So we make the lunches on Tuesday nights in the Chandler Mowat kitchen, and we have two different groups from the church. So the one is a young adults Bible study group that on one Tuesday they study scripture together, and on the other Tuesday they come and they make all the lunches. So that's their study and service. And then another group on a Tuesday night is a group of us who just use that as a night to serve together. So we come in from 7 to 9 and we make muffins and lots of sandwiches and peel and cut vegetables.
Catherine, what would you say is the purpose of this church?
So our mission statement is making Jesus real, inviting people to follow. But our heart is being a faith community together and building a community beyond the walls of our church. And very clearly we believe that it would be building of relationships. So that we can build community, but first we have to know people and come together. So this, for sure, our Build a Lunch program is a time of coming together and forming these relationships. And then I would say then we know each other's stories, we share deeply with each other, and then life is more richly shared. Yeah.
And you knowing that purpose for the church seems to give energy and gives unity. The congregation seems to be behind what you're doing here.
Absolutely. I would say the gathering, this is for us, it's our heartbeat, it makes us happy. That's a good thing. I think we derive joy from doing what we're called to do. So it's a happy place for us. And it does. I think what it does is it makes us aware that we are blessed and we can be a blessing. And the people in the communities around us are blessed, and they are also blessing us. And so, yeah, it's a good thing.
My observation is that when churches have their purpose statement clear, and a statement of faith and a statement of strategy, that there's unity and there's direction and there's energy in that group.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're experiencing that.
Absolutely. And I think, too, it allows us to open our door really wide, which we want to do. So we have learned that there's no stranger amongst us. We're all welcome to come. And I think it also makes you really aware on a Sunday morning to say who are newer here. And it also says, oh, this is a Build a Lunch family that's joined today, or we can invite the kids into different programming. So it certainly says keep us open wide.
So you're a church for all peoples.
Absolutely.
Anybody can come here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And of course, if they're going to join the fellowship, they need to have a certain sense of joining you in that purpose, in that faith statement, and what your mission is
Right.
here.
And we often have said to people that Sunday morning is where we meet as a church. And so, if people are talking even from the breakfast program, we'll talk about Sunday morning. Your experience would be worship through song and worship through prayer and worship through listening. And you're welcome to come into that, and it's also a building of community, whereas Build a Lunch is a lot more opportunity to sit at the table and get to know each other's lives. Yeah.
Catherine, your church is also being a witness to other churches in the area. We're watching you.
Good.
And we're seeing Jesus at work here.
That's
and
awesome.
That's exciting.
And join. Lots of work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
The dust has settled, the children have left, but we're reflecting on the purpose of the church. Why does God have the church? What is the purpose of the church? As I reflect on that, I go to church to worship. I go to church to fellowship with other believers. I go to church to become more like Christ as I am instructed and guided. I go to church to minister and to be ministered to. I go to church to join with others in the mission in the world. I believe when we have our purpose clearly stated, then we have cooperation, we have unity, we have energy like we've seen here. If your church doesn't have a clear purpose statement, I encourage you to explore the scriptures and to discuss it so that you can have a clear statement of what God wants you to do.